According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, data analyst jobs will see a 20% growth from 2018 to 2028, which is much faster than average. It's one of the most interesting and rewarding jobs that I've ever had. It always makes me feel like being a data detector. The question is, what are the skills you need to get started with this highly in-demand tech career? Hi there, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Tuvu. I'm working as an analytics consultant here in the Netherlands, and I make videos about tech, data, and life in general. A brief story of myself: data analyst was my first full-time job about 5 years ago when I graduated from university with my first degree in economics. So it was quite a career switch for me when I started learning coding and everything from scratch. Since then, I've learned tons of skills on the job, and that's what I'm sharing with you today. Before we talk about the necessary skills, let's take a look at what a data analyst is and what do they do. By its name, data analyst is someone who analyzes data. And data analysis is a process of inspecting, cleansing, transforming, and modeling data with the goal of discovering useful information, informing conclusions, and supporting decision making. Thank you, Wikipedia. There are 4 types of data analysis. The first one is descriptive analysis. This is the simplest and most common use of data in business today. It basically answers the question, what happened, by summarizing past data and usually in the form of dashboards. And the next level is diagnostic analysis, which is to find out why did it happen. That means you take the insights found from the descriptive analysis and drill down to find the potential causes of those outcomes. On to the next level, you'll be doing predictive analysis to answer the question, what is likely to happen? So you utilize previous data to make predictions about the future. The highest level is prescriptive analysis, where you really use all the data insights from previous analysis to formulate actions and inform decisions of a business. When it comes to the most important skills to get started and become a good data analyst, let me show you this skill model to help you visualize it. On the most fundamental level, you need some basic math and statistics. Just very basic high score undergraduate math and statistics will do if you don't have to do very complex analysis or machine learning in your job. Secondly, we look at other hard skills that involve using specific technologies or software. We talk about this in detail in a bit. And lastly, on the top level, we talk about the mindset and the soft skills that are very much needed to help you shine in your job. So what's the basic math and statistics that you need to acquire? Most of the time as a data analyst, you perform quite basic operations on the data like summation, calculating average, mean, max, median, and etc. Sometimes you need to be able to identify and detect outliers in your dataset so that your conclusion will not be biased or distorted. Also, if you know that there are outliers in your data, you know that you should use median instead of mean to present the average value. I would highly recommend you read this classic book, How to Lie with Statistics by Dario Huff. It's a very fun book to read, pointing out the most common mistakes we make when drawing conclusions from data. I think everyone who works with data should definitely read this. On a more conceptual level, it's also very useful to know things like sampling bias, correlation versus causation, and basic regression analysis. If you want to be a bit more advanced, you can also start looking into things like dimensionality reduction, clustering analysis, association analysis, and scaling and normalizing data, etc. From my experience, during a technical interview for a data analyst job, you'll be very likely to be asked a few questions about your general knowledge of these concepts. So it's always good to be prepared in this respect. Alright, enough theory and all the statistical stuff. Let's move on to something more exciting: technology. As a data analyst, you want to get 3 things done almost on a daily basis: extracting data, analyzing data, and visualizing it. Let's take a look at some numbers. This is a percentage of data analyst job listings that mention certain technology. The most in-demand skill you can see is SQL. SQL is a very powerful tool when it comes to working with relational data. It makes it easy to extract data, doing aggregation, filtering, and joining and other operations. It's also quite easy to pick up. If you go through the SQL tutorials on the website w3school.com, you should be good to go. This is really everything you need to know to start working with SQL. Also, with SQL knowledge, you can pick up SAS very quickly because you can use SQL syntax in SAS as well. Microsoft Excel is another tool you want to master because it's so ubiquitous. It's the most widely used analysis tool across companies in the world. It's quite a brilliant tool if you think about it. It's changed the way we work with numbers and you can do a lot with it. I've worked with clients who managed very big datasets and create quite complex calculation models in Excel. And that is to illustrate that Excel is such a legacy software and is not likely to change soon. Generally speaking, you're in a very good position if you know the basics of writing calculation functions, creating pivot tables and charts in Excel for quick analysis. On a more advanced level, if you want to automate some boring tasks in Excel, and that often impresses your colleagues, you can learn some VBA. VBA stands for Visual Basic for Applications, if I remember correctly. For instance, if you have to do the same task all over again on many different Excel files, you can just write a VBA program to automate that. If you don't know yet what the VBA interface looks like, try opening your Excel and press Alt plus F11. There are a lot of VBA tutorials on YouTube and on the internet in general. Just go ahead and search for VBA tutorials. You'll find tons of useful information to get started. SQL and Excel are very useful, but they are generally not designed to do complex analysis and build statistical models. Once you already know SQL and Excel well enough, it's time to move on to the next level. The two most popular programming languages for data analysis are Python and R. If you're new to coding, I'd say just pick up either of them. Many people say that Python is more beginner-friendly than R, maybe because it has more natural words in its syntax, but I actually started with R when I first learned programming and I really loved it. A wonderful thing about learning R or Python nowadays is that there are so many free resources on the internet. You can have access to these whole books for free and they are very good quality. Coursera and DataCamp are also full of good courses on Python and R from basic to advanced level. So once you know Python and R, even at a very basic level, mentioning them in your resume can really give you a lot of points in the eye of recruiters. And the more practice and the more you use them on a daily basis, the more confident you will become coding in Python and R. If you encounter any problems or any errors, just copy the error into Google and I'm pretty sure that you'll find the answer on Stack Overflow or something. Everyone is a beginner once, so have fun and enjoy your learning process and don't give up. I have to say, it can really depend on the company you work for, what kinds of technologies you'll be using. Some more data-driven companies will probably even work with big data sets, and then R or Python won't cut it anymore, and big data frameworks like Spark or Hadoop will be necessary. You can save it for later when you already have R or Python under your belts. As you may already know, data visualization and dashboarding is also a very big part of a data analyst job. From my experience, Tableau and Power BI are the two most popular data visualization tools. Most companies from big to small use either of them. Tableau is very fast, flexible, and it has intuitive drag and drop kind of interface. Another nice thing about Tableau is that it allows you to pull data from many different sources, including big data platforms. Power BI, on the other hand, is built by Microsoft, so it integrates very well with Excel, but it doesn't give you a lot of other options as Tableau does. It's also a bit clunkier and slower than Tableau in my opinion. Sorry, Microsoft. These BI software are convenient. However, one of the biggest limitations is that you are limited to a certain number of types of charts and diagrams that you can create. At some point, you're gonna want to build some more customizable graph or charts. If you know some JavaScript, I would highly recommend you look into d3.js. It's a very powerful JavaScript visualization library that allows you to build highly customized visualizations. For instance, once I worked with a graph dataset, I had to create a custom network visualization for a client. Then D3 was the most obvious option, if not the only good option to do this properly. Talking about the mindset and the soft skills you need as a data analyst, I would say the most important mindset is analytical thinking. This means you want to turn the data upside down mold it, clean it, wrangle it until you find something useful. You're gonna need a detector kind of mindset. Always challenge your own and other people's assumption. You want to be as factual and data-driven as possible. Try to verify everything because sometimes people believe one thing, but their data actually tells a different story. Also, as a data analyst, you'll be working with different parts of your company and with people from different functions and expertise. Then being a good listener is really crucial. You want to understand what are the underlying problems they are trying to solve, what questions they are trying to answer, what insights are most important for them to make a decision. So you actively listen and help them formulate the right questions to be answered with data. Really, sometimes asking the right question is half the job done. To conclude, data analyst is a very interesting and rewarding career. You really get to see how a business works and makes the decisions by simply looking at their data. I hope this video will help you get off on the right foot in your data analyst career. Again, all the resources and important links are included in the description box below. If you've enjoyed what I shared in this video, please consider supporting my channel by subscribing or giving me a thumbs up. I also made another video about an overview of all the data related careers. If you're curious, be sure to check it out. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye!